All right, aloha everyone. Welcome to the third convening of the Economy Stream CEDS substream. I am the Economy Chair, Ashley Kirkowitz, joined by my fellow co-chair for this substream, Farah Marie Gomes. All right. For today's meeting, we will start with our grounding statement and go through a number of assignments that we have for our hui. Identifying sector speakers for panel discussions we will be hosting in subsequent weeks, reviewing our homework related to Aina Aloha online breakout sessions, and then providing you with a tool to get started on completing the CEDS action plan for Vibrant Hawaii. So let's start with our grounding statements. Farah?
Vibrant Hawaii is a growing community that commits to individual and collective awamo kuleana to increase equitable opportunities to build wealth, an abundant reservoir of human, social, natural, and financial capital that we contribute and draw upon.
Our kuleana is to convene conversations so that all va'a travel toward a common goal, build community awareness, will, and action from foundation of our shared values, shift deficit narratives, systems, and policy that perpetuate poverty and inequality, and implement strategies that are developed and resourced by the community and reflect Native intelligence.
We value equity and belonging, and we demonstrate this by being willing to let go of assumptions and biases about each other, speaking up when we recognize barriers that prevent us from participating, prospering, and reaching our full potential, promoting full family engagement and participation, and raising our own and our collective belief that wealth, abundance, and prosperity is not a pie. More for others does not mean less for ourselves.
We value aloha, and we demonstrate this by acknowledging that aloha is unique to Hawaii. It is from this place. By valuing aloha, we value the vast and unique genius of the people of Hawaii, and we prioritize the knowledge, skills, and solutions of its people, recognizing that aloha is an action modeled to us by our environment, and we validate its aloha through aloha aina and our willingness to suffer a little so that no one has to suffer a lot.
We value awamo kuleana, and we demonstrate this by a commitment to empowerment rooted in our belief that everyone has skills and abilities, but needs circumstances and opportunities to express them, promoting language that recognizes a person's abilities and shared ownership and accountability. If any one of us stumbles, we all fall because we are all connected.
We value flexibility and learning that leads to transformation, and we demonstrate this by being honest without shame when we don't know, being courageous, adaptive leaders, even when it calls for difficult conversations, and even when our outlooks look like failure, demonstrating a honui and ha'aha'a as we hold tension to achieve change, and practicing makavalu and acknowledging that we each hold one piece that is part of something bigger. Mahalo. So our first assignment for everyone is based on the conversations we've had as the economy stream and within our CEDS substream. We've begun to reflect on what we've heard from community in our island-wide convenings over the last couple of years. And in those discussions, our community has elevated sectors and industries that they would like to invest in as new and diversified economic drivers for our islands. And so in subsequent meetings that our substream will be hosting, we will be having panel discussions featuring different industry experts. And so we are inviting everyone to let us know who they would like to hear from by completing this form. We've identified a number of sectors, including creative and performing arts, education, health and wellness, regenerative and community-based tourism, sustainable and resilient local food systems, and tech industry as key sectors that we will be hosting discussions around. So if there are industry experts that are doing meaningful, innovative work in these areas across Hawaii, we invite you to list their names and provide contact information if you know who these individuals are, or referred to a website where we can learn more about them. That way, Farah and I can begin to reach out to them and confirm their participation in a panel discussion that we will be hosting. You can find that link here, where it says here in the slide. So feel free to complete that at your convenience, but please let us know no later than August 6th so that we can give folks time to commit to being with us.
All right. And so moving along in the conversation here, what we would also like to do, and part of the reason that we are giving you time this week in place of having our meeting, is some of you have already joined us on Tuesday's joint meeting with the education stream. And we were very fortunate to have a presentation by Mahina Paishan Duarte and Noinoi Wong Wilson about the Aina Aloha economic futures. And so for those of you who haven't yet been briefed about Aina Aloha economic futures, we did touch on that at our last meeting, but we ask you to go to the presentation from Tuesday's joint meeting. It is linked here on the slide. Watch the presentation here. You can also go to their website for some general information. Overall, this, and I'm reading from their website here, where it's really an open invitation to join a group of community members, businesses, and organizations engaging in a 4-step process that is explained in the presentation that was done on Tuesday, asking people to take action to bring to life a resilient economy through core value of Aina Aloha. And the 14 sections, or the 14 areas that have been focused on, are located on this slide. And what we are inviting everybody to do is sign up using the sign up link here on the slide. It will take you to a Sign Up Genius page. And on the page, we ask you to sign up for reviewing one of the presentations. And so each of the proposals, you will be able to get a link. You can copy it from this page, but it's also back on the other slide we'll get to in a minute. We ask you to click and sign up so that we know who is going to be reviewing and providing input into the various sections. We have limited it to two responses or 2 signups for each area. This doesn't limit you from watching all 14 of them, but because the homework includes feedback, after you go ahead and sign up, we have you locked into that session. We ask you to return to this slide where you can access the actual proposals, so, or the actual presentations. That link that is at the end of this, yep, Ashley's clicking on that now. It will take you to the Aina Aloha page. When you scroll down, all of the presentations are here. You will click on the video, watch video, and it is after watching the video, and some of these will go the almost equivalent to the entire time of our meeting for this week, which is really why we're honoring the time and asking you to do this on your own. Once you're done with the video, we will ask you to then go back into the format that we have set up here. So identify the who, what, when, where, how, why of our collective action. So again, this is through the Vibrant Hawaii lens, right? We ask you to complete a reflection based on the video that you have watched. So when you click on the link in the slide, it will take you to this separate page. We have laid out some what we think are pretty clear explanations, and we will walk you through the form here. So what we are asking you to do is to identify the breakout session that we reviewed, and that's the one that you signed up for, and take us through what is one strategy that after watching the you are able to share with. First of all, I go for Vibrant Hawaii to consider version of the CEDS action plan. So this is where we're going to take Aloha Aina presentations, try to incorporate that back into our CEDS action plan. Once you identify that strategic goal, think about 3 objectives for how we can link to that strategic goal that you've identified. We ask you to think about a few barriers that you see and how it relates to the subject matter that you're reflecting on. If you can provide some input on why you think those barriers exist, and also some thoughts on how you think they may be overcome. The next question asks you to identify 3 key actions to achieve each of those identified objectives. And so we do provide a little bit of specificity there. If possible, include length of time needed to act, and also identify partners and catalysts for each of the actions. And then finally, for each strategic goal that you identify, reflect on that goal and objectives. How will we measure the success? How will we know when we have been at this for a year, 3 years, or 5 years that we have made progress, that we have moved the needle, that we are successful? Identify any performance measures or milestones that you can think of that will help us to be measuring this over time. And if you would like some assistance with this, we will be able to provide some case studies. This is linked on the slide. So when you click on the link on the slide, it will take you to this page where several CEDS plans are included, and you will be able to see some sample language from these case studies on what are some of the goals, what are some of the strategic goals and objectives that are used here. You can model some of your suggestions based on the language that is already used. These are real CEDS that are in play, and they are models. They serve as something that we can use to take a look at best practice and how language has already been incorporated on some of these other measures. So that is ultimately what we are asking you to do as part of the homework. So watch the Aina Aloha presentation and then give us your feedback. We took you on that form through one strategic goal. If you are so compelled and there are additional goals you would like to share with us, after you finish the first goal, you can click next and it'll take you to a second goal. And then if you still have additional ideas to share, you can click next again and it'll take you to a third goal area. At minimum, we are asking you to contribute one strategic goal and to review one of the 14 Aloha Aina presentations. When you're back on the Sign Up Genius page, again, remember that we have only included spaces for 2 reviewers per area. So you want to jump in here sooner rather than later, especially if you know there's a specific presentation that you want to provide your input on. Now, this doesn't mean that you can only watch and provide input on 1 or 2 areas that you sign up for. If you'd like to, and if you have time, again, we're valuing time here, watch more than 1 or 2, you're more than welcome to, and you're also more than welcome to fill out more than 1 of these forms as well. So this is an open activity for those of you who would like to contribute in the multiple areas to be able to do so as well. I guess this is the final page here. Are there projects to take action on that will benefit all strategic goals you've identified? So again, taking this to action would be getting your feedback and contributions on, are there specific items already that you have in mind that maybe with some collective action we can actually start to put into place, take action on? And once you're done with that, you would click submit and that would be on its way to us. Homework would be done and we would see you then 2 weeks from Thursday for our next CEDS substream meeting of the group.
Awesome. Perfect, Farah. Thank you. So everyone, just to recap, by August 6th, we would like to hear from you in terms of suggested speakers for our panel discussions on the different sectors that we as Vibrant Hawaii would like to pursue action on. And then as we begin our work on developing our version of the CEDS action plan, really reviewing what Aina Aloha Economic Futures has put together, and infusing some of that mana'o to help guide our work. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Farah and I directly. If not, mahalo for being a vibrant contributor, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.